welcome to another edition of Stage Banter. I am super excited to have my guest today, straight from LA, right?
Yep.
We've got Mia Mormino here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, Mia, WTF is going on?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I've thought about I've dabbled in music production myself. Um, dabbled is a very, yeah, but use that loosely. I have GarageBand on my laptop.
Me too. Me too.
And I can't believe how hard it is just to write a simple song.
I know. Like the writing a song, there's so many different ways to go about it, and there's so many different like directions you could come from and places you pull from. Like there's so much, but on top of that, doing everything like production wise, it literally blows my mind. That's why I've never produced anything
Mhm.
before, and I would like love to learn, but when I watch my producers work, my brain is just like there are so many different buttons and words and waveforms that like I feel like I would end up like burning my whole computer like on accident. Like I would just catch on flame. So so yeah, it's crazy. It is there's so much.
Ah, what I tend to do is I'll open up GarageBand. I'm like, okay, I'll listen to a song that I've been listening to lately and kind of like, use their influence to
Right.
get an idea of how I want my song to go.
Of course.
But I always just get stuck in like just very simple things like, okay, what's the beat gonna be?
Yeah.
What's the time signature? And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah. Yes,
It's
I
so much
felt
harder than when it sounds like. So
so much
huge
harder.
respect.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, for writing the song to me feels like the easiest part because I mean, that's what I do, but
Yeah.
I am so unaware of like the whole production world. I mean, like I have an idea, but what exactly goes into it, like there's so much that I don't know. So yeah, it's crazy how a song will be 3 minutes, but to make that song, it takes like 20 hours or like so many days, and it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so the song WTF is going on.
Yes.
So you're the writer, so
Yep.
what is your process to actually come up with this?
So for that song in particular, or just songs in general?
Sure, let's start with that song in particular.
Yeah, totally. So started out being treated kind of poorly in a relationship. That's
Mm,
usually where I pull my biggest inspiration from. Just because I have a very big heart and I like love and I love to give love and like I just want the world to feel love. So in relationships, I always give a lot more than I usually am receiving, which I've learned that's just kind of like how I am, but there is definitely someone out there that will reciprocate what I give, but I'm still finding that.
right,
So
right.
in this relationship, I definitely was giving like way more than he was giving. And so many times throughout it, I just caught myself being like, what is going on right now? Like what is happening? I'm so confused. Nothing makes sense in this situation. So after he had ended things and like broke things off, I was like, all right, I got to write a song about this because I cannot be the only person that is constantly being like, what is going on? Like, I'm so confused. So I wrote that song, and Chicago, the musical, is like a really big influence on my life, and Cell Block Tango in particular. That's like the biggest piece of inspiration behind like the production of the song, and I just knew that I wanted it to be very like fiery and feisty and
Yeah, well, mission
sassy.
accomplished.
Yeah. So I really tried to like capture that, and my producer was like, this is one of those songs where I'm like, this is so difficult to try and make, but like we're gonna do it, we're gonna get through this, we're gonna create it. So yeah, I pulled from my real life experience. I was just like trying to remember what I was telling myself and asking myself when in that relationship, and that was like, is there someone else? Like, am I too much for you, or am I not enough for you? So I just
Yeah.
really put that into the song, um
Hmm.
and put like my anger towards the breakup in there too. So that
Yeah.
that makes for the whole like
Yeah.
feisty theme.
You take negative energy and turn it into like some
Yep.
content, a product, your
Yeah,
music. And yeah, that's
exactly.
awesome.
Thank you.
So yeah, so you're saying you're using your life experiences. in terms of like the actual like musically, the notes, the beat,
Yeah.
how does that work? Because that is the hardest, one of the hardest things for me when I try and do something on my own.
Yeah. So for me, it really depends. So like with a lot of my like original singles, they pretty much all start on the piano. Um,
Mm,
I don't know how to play full on piano. I don't know how to read music, but I know my way around and I know like what a C chord is, what a minor is, what a G major is. Like I can just get by. Whereas if someone was listening to me play who didn't know music, they'd be like, oh my God, that girl can play piano. But if someone who did play music listened, they'd be like, she's playing the same three chords over and over. Like,
yeah,
what is this?
yeah,
But I have always been able to really find like what I want to create by using the piano. Um, so I'll either find some chords that I like or like a little chord progression that I like, which you can find chords on Safari if you just type in like,
yeah,
C major, it'll give you the chords of the
right.
C major scale. And then I'll create melodies based off of that. Or sometimes I'll be in the shower or working out or doing laundry and I just start like humming this melody. And then if it sticks, I'll be like, okay, wait, you know what? I like that. Let me record it
Yeah,
on my phone really quick. And then I come to the piano and I'm like, okay, let's try and break this down and see if it's
yeah,
something that I could even use, if it's like catchy enough.
right.
So it sort of depends. It sort of depends on like what vibe I'm going for, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. So the time when I was most into trying to like come up with my own song, I would like go on walks or runs and I would just get random ideas in my head and I would just kind of hum it into my phone and record that. And
Yeah.
so I have all sorts of just crazy mumbo jumbo on my
Yep.
phone that just
Yep.
sounds like I'd be
Me
really embarrassed if somebody heard it.
me too. They'd be like, you are a psychopath. Like
Yeah.
what is this?
Yeah, just take it and then you think you have like a catchy chorus and then suddenly it just like falls flat and like I don't know, to take it from like that idea in your head to actually a song, it's
Right.
very tough. So
It's a full process and something that I found a little bit more challenging lately is I'll start making melodies that are sound exactly like songs that are currently out. And I'm not doing
yeah.
it consciously because obviously I'm not trying to like be a copycat. But I'm
Yeah.
like, this sounds so good. But I'm like, where have I heard this before? And then I'll put on Spotify's top 100 and
Yeah.
it's like Dua Lipa. And I'm like, damn it.
You can't use
You
yeah.
already did
Yeah,
it.
yeah, no. Well, I was in the car with a friend recently and I can't remember what the artist was and we were both like this sounds exactly like something we've heard before. Like it was kind of crazy, but
Yep. Yep.
yeah.
Definitely.
Well, on that note, there was another song I wanted to talk to you about,
Yeah.
which I really liked, and that was Stuck.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, love the video, like super awesome. Yeah, I
Thank
mean
you.
that's a whole another topic we could talk about is how you did the video.
Oh,
But
yeah.
so I definitely noticed the song itself. It reminded me of Billie Eilish.
Yep.
Um, and I didn't know much about her. I mean, I'd heard her before I heard your song.
Right.
Um, and I kind of consider myself a bit of a music snob. I grew up listening to I mean just honestly like pop and punk rock and
Right.
uh, but then I kind of got into like indie music and more snobbish and um what's the word?
More particular. You have more particular taste.
Yeah, yeah. But then
Grow-
like I've kind of come full circle and I appreciate all styles of music and really I love pop music. Who doesn't?
Right.
And so yeah, I started to listen to some of Billie Eilish's music and like, oh, this is actually really good.
Right.
And what struck me about her music is it's just very kind of simple beats,
Mm-hmm.
but somehow like her voice and like the very subtle, she's just able to make this stark contrast and make it into like an awesome song.
Right.
And so that's what I liked about Stuck is it really came across as something like that. And I was like, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
awesome.
Thank you.
So
Thank
I
you.
don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the
Yeah,
idea behind the song and
of course.
yeah.
Absolutely. So funny enough, thank you, first of all. That's like the biggest compliment ever. I'm obsessed with Billie Eilish. She's on my wall right up there.
Awesome. Are you gonna
um,
get the green hair eventually or
No, no, I love her. I love her whole vibe, her whole aesthetic, her image. But
yeah.
the green hair, like I would just look like a crackhead on the street. So I think I'll stick to the blonde.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so for Stuck, I wrote it after listening to her album like when we fall asleep, where do we go? Whatever, her most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
was like 3 in the morning, and I was waiting for like the guy I was dating at the time to come home from work, and I was like in this trance of just like Billie Eilish and how dark and like creepy and in depth she gets with some of her lyrics and like
Yeah.
just the overall mood that it gives me. So I was like, I need to write something like this. Like I'm so inspired right now. And
Yeah.
mental health for me has always been a very like up and
Yeah.
down situation in my life.
Yeah.
So I have
It's
like
like COVID, right?
exactly. I
Yeah.
have a lot to pull from and like super low of lows and like super highs. So I wrote Stuck basically just explaining like my process during like a mental breakdown. And I was alone like in my room at the time, and I was pulling inspiration from that and just being like, okay, so when I'm literally losing my mind, like, what is it that I do? And for me, it's, being alone, having the doors shut, the blinds shut. I don't want to feel judged. I just need to like let it pass. And it's not like a pretty sight because I'm just crying and it's a mess and everything, but it's something that,
Yeah.
like, if I try to force it or if I try to fight against it, it will only prolong it and make it that much more difficult to get through.
Yeah.
Stuck is literally like my step by step guide, I guess, on how I handle like my darkest moments. So what like that's that's pretty much like the inspiration behind the writing. And then
Yeah.
production wise, I just wanted it very minimal and very creepy and dark, because I feel like I write majority of my stuff about the dark things in life and like the things that people don't really want to talk about.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try and like capture that as best I could with the production. So that's kind of the
Yeah.
whole theme behind it, I guess, is just dark.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the video too kind of matches that kind of dark vibe. You've got some cool makeup going on. Like, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the
was
videos
great.
are super fun. That's like my favorite part about one of my favorite parts about music is music videos. Because for music videos, I'm a completely independent artist, so I don't have any management
Yeah.
or like team or label or any PR, whatever. So with videos, I'm in like full creative control, and I find the locations, I design the costumes. If there's
That's
choreography,
insane. I
I do the
mean,
choreography, makeup, hair, obviously writing the song. I create the whole treatment, like the
yeah,
whole visual, like I create in my bed at 2 a.m. Like it's
yeah,
everything that you see is done by me, not because I'm like, oh my God, like it's all me, but that's what I have to do. I don't have the fun
right.
to, hire 30 different people to do 30 different things for me. So it's a cool
Yeah.
feeling. It's a cool feeling when people enjoy.
Yeah. And I mean, like artists that have whole teams behind them, like Beyonce, I mean, they're dedicated like just writing the beats and like,
Yeah,
he's
just
literally, I mean, not to take anything away from her because I think
oh,
she's
of course.
awesome.
She's like
Um,
my biggest inspiration. I literally have her lyrics
oh,
tattooed.
yeah. Yeah, but I mean, so every part of like, again, the image, the dance moves, the video, the song, that's all handled by like different people. You're doing this all by yourself. Like that's honestly, I'm super impressed. Like the production value of the music videos is like super nice. Like what do you have, like expensive equipment, or like you don't have, I'm sure you have people helping you, and because and in the videos, like I saw you have like, there's actors in there. So
Right.
are these like friends, or how do you find them?
So for like the film crew, I guess, like I work with a couple different directors who really help like pull the resources, because like yes, I have all these ideas and I like to be in full control, but I can't do anything about it if I don't have people to film it or to edit it, because I don't have the equipment or the extensive knowledge that they have to like put these beautiful like pieces together. So I've been able to like kind of network and find directors that I really like, directors that like I really like but aren't my style.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to like cast, like in the WTF video, the male lead was my coworker. Sorry, my dog is like freaking out.
Oh yeah, she
Male
can star in it too. Yeah.
the male lead was my coworker. And then all of the dancers, they were my sisters and some of my friends from high
Okay.
school, and the girl that worked at the front desk at the gym that I used to work out at. So like I like to get very creative, and when I'm surrounded by creative people, I want to like include them in anything creative I do because I know that they will enjoy it and appreciate it and just like love that environment. So it's cool because the shoots are always like super fun because it's me and like my sisters and my
Yeah.
friends. It's awesome. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
hanging out with friends.
Exactly.
It's like not
Music.
even work. So is this like your full-time thing, or do you also do something on the side, or
Nope, this is my full-time thing. I mean, I've been a dancer since I was like 3 years old, and in elementary and middle school, like that's what I wanted to do with my life was be a professional dancer. Like I wanted to go to Juilliard in New York. Like I was very like set on that. But then as I started just like growing up, I was like, I need something else to release this like toxic energy that's being thrown my way. So I turned to music. And since then, that's just been like all I want to do and all I do. I mean, I love to do a bunch of other things, but like career wise, this is my life. Music is like my
yeah. No,
whole
that's
world.
yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean, usually, I'm just curious what I'm sure your parents have been supportive, and especially since it seems like you've made it pretty big. That's awesome. But I mean, I'm just thinking growing up, if I were to say, oh, I'm going to be a singer or, be in a band,
Right.
I would probably, I'm sure people would tell me like, don't quit your day job.
Oh, yeah. No, trust me. I've gotten lots of that as well. Like where I
Yeah.
grew up, it's a pretty small community and it's kind of known as like the bubble because everyone knows everyone. Everyone cares way too much
Yeah.
about everyone else's stuff. So when I was in high school, a senior in high school, and we were like graduating and everyone was going to USC and Indiana and Florida like for school, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to community college to pursue my career of the arts.
Yeah.
The no one necessarily like said anything to me, but the overall energy I could
Mhm.
feel and the daggers thrown my way,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh my god, I was like why do you care so much? Like it's not your stuff. Like I can do with my
Yeah.
life whatever I want to do. So
Right.
definitely have had to tackle that and just the feeling of doing
Yeah.
something off the beaten path. But I know inside that like I have what it takes to be where I want to be and where I will be. It's just a matter of sticking to it and like letting myself get there, like that's kind of like the main
Yeah.
biggest.
Well, I mean, as you said, maybe people didn't directly tell you, hey, this isn't a good idea, but you could kind of feel it, the vibe.
Of
I think
course.
in addition to that, at least for me, it would be self-doubt too. Like, is
Oh
this, like,
man, yeah. Holy moly.
yeah.
Yeah, that is I am my biggest and
Yeah.
worst critic enemy. Like
Yeah.
just it can get pretty dark in my brain, but I think that's
Yeah.
everything happens for a reason, and I'm on the
Yeah.
path that I'm on to hopefully be able to show people that like I'm here for them and like it's totally normal what you're thinking, what you're going through, because
Yeah.
majority of the people experience the same stuff, but it's just a matter of like wanting to express it. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you can also channel that, those dark thoughts into a new song.
exactly. That's the coolest
So
part. That's the coolest part. I
it
can
just
make
keeps on
art.
giving. It writes
Yep,
itself.
exactly. Like
Super easy. Yeah.
oh yeah.
I know we don't have too much time left, but a few more questions.
Yes.
So what do you think was like your big breakthrough where you're like, oh, this is actually starting to take off? Because I know I saw on your website, you're on Apple Music, you're on Spotify, SoundCloud. But I'm sure even before that, there was probably like something where you're like, oh, this is actually happening. Can you define that moment or
That's a really good question. I've never been asked that before. And it's funny because like kind of going back to that self-doubt and mental health stuff,
Mhm.
like I don't feel like I've had my big break or anything like that. There have been definitely like significant moments throughout my
Yeah,
life and my career that have like really helped me believe like okay, this is happening. Like this is what you're
yeah,
supposed to do. And even though you need to know that within, those external things that come at you, the positive ones, it's really good like reinforcement. And it pushes you to keep going when it's like something in front of you is telling you, okay, good job. This is working. So I don't know if I've had like a huge giant moment, but I've definitely have had throughout the years. Like one of my songs, Little Girl, um, on YouTube has like 5.2 million views, I think.
Is it
Based,
that many?
yeah.
Wow. I
So
should have
that's
done my homework. I'm sorry.
no, what? Don't apologize. Are you kidding me? I don't care. You could be like, I don't even know your name, and I'd be like, well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But no. No, you're so fine. But yeah, this YouTube channel like reposted basically my
Mm.
song on their channel and like made a little lyric video for it. And that did like way better than I ever could have thought it would. And it's cool because they have a bunch of different artists on there, and like my song has more views than like some of like Selena Gomez's songs. And I was just like, that's so
That's
weird.
insane. Like,
So it was,
yeah.
that definitely was a huge thing for me. And more importantly, like, I mean, having 5.2 million associated with something like under my name is awesome, but
Yeah.
it's the messages that I would receive from people like all over the world being like, your song has helped me so much, like I've battled with X, Y, and Z, and listening to it makes me feel a certain way. Like that is the most gratifying
Yeah.
feeling ever. If I, even if it was 10 views and I had one person tell me, hey,
Yeah.
you're helping me get through this, that is
Right.
all I want to do with my life and with my career. So that song kind of like blowing up, not blowing up because like, I mean, whatever, but for
Yeah.
me that's the most numbers that I have thus far. Having it go really well like that has been able to introduce me to so many new people, just like connecting through the art of music. And it's just
Yeah.
cool that it's like my music that they're connecting to. So that's,
Yeah.
that was definitely like a really cool, I was like, wow, like that's so sick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so
Yeah.
you're, so you didn't start this out just for the views, is what I'm hearing. You actually,
No, no. Like it's so obviously, numbers are so
yeah.
important, especially
Yeah.
nowadays. But like that is, I'm not like some clout chaser. Like I don't make music so that I can afford a Gucci belt. Like I make music so
Yeah.
that the 13-year-old girl in her room hating her body can be like, oh, this girl also hated her body. So like it's cool. Like I feel this. Like I connect to this. This is helping me. That's why I do it. And if you do it for the Gucci belts, go for it. But that's just, I don't feel it lasts as long as when you have the intentions, like pure intentions. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I found that like in personal life too. Yeah. Just in general, if you're
Yeah.
doing something just selfishly, it tends to backfire on you.
Right. Right.
So,
And you have to be
yeah.
selfish. I mean, you have to put yourself first and
Yeah.
your happiness and your health and all of that stuff. And there's a difference between being like knowing your self-worth and being selfish. So I think that line can get a little bit wavy sometimes depending on the person and the situation, but yeah, I'm all about good intentions and helping people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I definitely think you have a super bright future ahead of you.
Thank
I think
you.
you're the complete package.
Oh,
Awesome
thank
smile.
you.
Yeah, like it's.
Thank you.
I think, yeah, and 5 million views. I'm sure it'll keep going up too. So,
Thank
but
thank you.
before we leave, just a couple of fun things just to get to know you a bit
Yeah.
more. I wanted to ask a few questions about if you think something is overrated or underrated. Kind of,
Oh, let's go.
kind of like.
So
So
down.
this is kind of going to be a little just kind of off the top of my head, but
Right.
so we'll start with camping.
Oh, I've never been camping, but I
Oh,
would love to. I do not, I love nature, like love nature. So I think that is underrated for sure. I mean,
yeah.
like, okay, camping in a tent, that would be my idea of camping, going out in the wilderness and like using a leaf as a blanket, like maybe not that kind of camping, like when you're just in the dirt, but like
Yeah, yeah. Having actual thing over your head. Yeah, a sleeping bag.
yeah, that would be perfect. I think that's underrated, and I look forward to the day where I can like go and do
Yeah,
that.
maybe you could film a music video in the forest.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah.
cool. Okay,
Kill two birds with one stone.
there you go.
Okay, next topic. Babies.
Oh my God, I love babies so much. I love babies. I want babies. Not right now. That would be a very bad idea. But I want to be a mom so bad. I love babies. So underrated. Like, I love babies.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Oh my
I mean,
God.
I don't think it would be too great for your career if you said it was overrated. So
Oh no. Oh my God. Babies. Are you kidding me? That's like your thing. Like, you made this little creature. Like, oh my
yeah,
gosh. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
Okay,
I
all
love
right.
it. Love,
Underrated.
love kids.
All right, so we've got two underrateds.
Mhm.
Let me see if I can throw a let's see. How about um sunsets?
Oh man, so underrated. So underrated, especially in Southern California. Oh my God. You go to the beach at like, whenever the sun is setting, and the way that the sun just like reflects off the water. I'm a huge ocean person as well. So anything like that, it's amazing. It's like the most beautiful, pure form of like just an incredible creation. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. I love sunsets.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one is Taco Bell.
Oh, yeah, overrated.
Got you to say overrated one. All right.
I've had it probably like once or twice in my life, and when
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go. Like, I hear so much hype about this, whatever, whatever. But then when I had it, I was like, this just makes me feel like garbage. So I will respectfully say it is very overrated. Very
Okay.
overrated. Yeah,
I
yeah.
would agree. I think the last time I had Taco Bell was it hasn't been that long now that I think of it. Okay, one thing that they do have that's good is
Mhm.
I think they're called Baja Blasts.
Okay, yes, I've had like one sip of those, and I was like, all right, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean it's basically sugar, so it's like
You can't
but
go
yeah,
wrong.
if they're tacos, I don't think I'd want to touch them.
Yeah.
And we'll do one more. How about Halloween?
Oh, love Halloween. Love Halloween. Oh my God. So from like literally from when my sister and I were born, my family and I have always gone like very, very full out for Halloween, like
Mhm.
full costume, hair, makeup, like
Yeah,
up until, I mean, this year we couldn't because of COVID and everything, but
yeah.
we love Halloween. It's so fun for us as a family. And it's just like holidays in general are great. It gives you something to celebrate, brings
Yeah,
people together, usually. It's
yeah,
just all of like what you make of it. So I'm a huge fan of
yeah.
holidays and Halloween.
Yeah, Halloween's like pretty much the only time of the year you can dress up and people don't look at you
Exactly.
funny. Or in
Exactly.
music videos, probably.
Well, that's the best. I can express myself in a trillion different ways, and because I'm in an artistic field, I won't be looked at funny as if I worked at a bank and I showed up in a fish costume. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's pretty cool about like
Yeah,
music and just the arts. Like, I can
yeah,
really, it's a there
yeah,
are no rules
yeah,
ever.
for sure. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no rules. All right, and lastly, I want to challenge all my guests to see how fast they can chug a drink of their choice. Looks like you brought water,
I
very
love it.
healthy.
Thank you.
Let me get out my stopwatch here,
Okay.
and
Oh wait, are you not doing this right now either?
I can do it with you.
Okay, yeah, please.
It looks like you have a smaller bottle than
No,
me.
look at this. It is 12 ounces. I made sure. Hold on.
Okay. Well,
Then
mine,
you
okay. You know what? Mine's 16 ounces
okay, you're
and it's
probably
half full. So that's about right.
about right.
Okay. And I also want to get the stopwatch out. So,
But I'm so nervous. I don't think I've ever chugged anything in my whole life.
all right, here we go. Three,
Okay.
two, one, go. Ah, ah. You almost got it.
Okay. I still have a little bit left, but
Okay. Yeah. All right. All
there we
right.
go.
Yeah. You got this. Okay. It was about 22 seconds.
Okay, you know what? I'll take it.
And I'll have like I'm gonna have a leaderboard of, you know, all my different guests, and you will
Oh
see
god,
a nice
I will be
ranking of where you, yeah.
bottom. Very, very bottom.
Yeah, well, you're one of my first guests, so you're actually higher than you think.
There you go. All right, I'll take it. I will so take it.
Yeah,
That's
and if you can always come back on the show and see if you want to improve your score.
for sure. Absolutely. I'll try a
Awesome.
little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, thank you so much for doing this. This is
Thank
super
you.
fun.
Oh, it was a
Um,
blast. I love
yeah, I
it.
love meeting people, and especially people that have, you know, awesome music videos and
Thank
great personality. And yeah, I can feel your positive vibes. So,
you. Thank you.
yeah, very cool.
Have a
Okay.
great rest of your day. Thank you for
Okay.
having me.
All right, we'll see you later. Okay.